Good morning, Carolyn. Today we're going to be talking about the progression of guilt to regret to thankfulness. So guilt, if we can define some terms, guilt is a belief that you deserve punishment. So you've done something wrong and there's a belief, actually, I need to be punished. And that follows people around. I mean, look at O.J. Simpson, for example, getting arrested for stealing his own memorabilia, or however that story went. It's like the guy wanted to be punished for something. And that's a common thing for criminals. They eventually want to get caught because of the burden, the guilt that they feel. But there's something a little bit better than guilt that's more helpful, I think. Because guilt, I don't think, is helpful. Guilt is really an ego thing, like, I feel bad and I want relief from this bad feeling that I have, and it's a focus of your own experience. You feel bad about something and you want relief. It's really not thinking about others still. It's still thinking about yourself, or at least about your ego wanting relief. Regret is a little bit more helpful, I'll say. It's a little more helpful when it comes to an abundant life, in that you still wish you hadn't done what you did, but it isn't quite as an internal process happening that's going to end up you being punished because you're going to make that happen to yourself, right? Regret is just, I wish I hadn't done that. I realized that, man, that wasn't a good move. I regret that. I would have done it different if I had the chance again. But there's a whole nother level of thankfulness, of, man, I'm so thankful for that thing to have happened. I wouldn't do it again, but man, the way that it turned out, the learning that I got that I never would have been able to achieve unless I really blew it before, unless I really failed at that pursuit. I would never have learned. I never would have become who I've become unless that had happened. At least I can't imagine how I could have. I'm so thankful for that event. Man, it is so freeing. So just think of a simple example. Think of all the relationships you've had. So I think of my marriage right now to Carolyn, my sweetie pie, and I just love my relationship with her. She's my best friend. She's the best mom. She is super healthy, super fit, super intentional with the relationship she's had. She's like the prophet in my neighborhood. Everyone loves her and shares their life with her. She's trustworthy. I mean, she's just amazing. And so that's like the best relationship I could ever have imagined. Way better than I ever hoped it would be when I actually wanted to marry her. It's even better than I thought, which is great. So here's the deal is, how did that happen? Well, part of the reason that happened is because of all the failed relationships I had had through the years. Failed, right? So every one of the relationship I had before, it was for my own learning, for my own growth, and I became, over those years, someone that could support a really wonderful relationship like I have right now. That would not have been the case if I had met her even a few years before, which we had. That's another story. But every one of those relationships that were, quote, failed, actually supported me in having the relationship that I've always wanted right now. So ask yourself, do you carry a lot of guilt? I say guilt's not helpful. It doesn't serve you at all. It only serves the ego. At least recognize it as regret, which is just, man, I wish that hadn't happened. Okay, moving on. I would do it again if I could. Okay, moving on. And then if you can get to the place of seeing how it could be good, how it could be, man, that could be the best thing that ever happened to me. Like the guy who has the heart attack and then decides, hey, I'm going to be healthy now from here on out because I can't afford to have this happen again. So that heart attack becomes the best thing that ever happened to me because I'm changing my patterns. I'm changing my decisions I make on a daily basis, because if I don't, I'm going to die. And so because of that, they do something different, using the regret of past experiences to make something different. And then when they're super healthy and enjoying life on a level they never could have imagined, now they're thankful. Only in hindsight they're thankful, but it's possible to be thankful now. Being thankful now. That's a beautiful place to be.